In this video, we're talking about the top 10 Paramecia fruits in the One Piece world. Paramecia types are the most in number out of all the devil fruits in the One Piece world, not including Kaido's 500 smile users of course. But when it comes to the number of fruit users both in canon and non-canon, the Paramecia types are really the most in number. And we're going to compare them in terms of overall usefulness in the One Piece world, just to level everything out. Otherwise, awakened Paramecia types would dominate the list. We're also going to tackle all these very briefly, so let's get right to it. For the honorable mentions, we start with the Horo no Mi, Perona's devil fruit. I considered putting this fruit on the list mainly because of the negative hollow ability, shifting a person's mindset to a negative one. It can definitely affect the outcome of any battle or any endeavor, and the destructiveness of the fruit is just a bonus. But other than these points, it falls flat and is the reason it fell off the list. Next, we have Jozu's Girogiro no Mi. It allows Jozu to become a diamond, and I imagine that if the fruit is awakened, the user could create unlimited diamonds and could make a fortune out of it. The added sturdiness and offensive power is a big plus, but not big enough to get it into the list. Another one is the Horo no Mi, even Cobb's fruit. It can help create miracles by tapping into the potentials of the body, helping a person heal extraordinarily fast, and it can boost the person's energy at the cost of shortening the person's life, ruining its chances of making it onto the list. And the last among the honorable mentions is the Suke no Mi. This was Absalom's fruit, which is now in the possession of Shiryu. It turns the user and anything that comes in contact with it invisible. It's a one-trick pony, but if it could affect the surroundings with the fruit's awakening, and it won't lose its effect even at a distance, it could potentially make it into the top 10. But anyway, we now move on to the actual top 10 list, and we start with the Girogiro no Mi, Viola's fruit. It enables Viola to do a lot of vision-related abilities. It could make easy interrogation with Peeping Mind, hassle-free persuasion with the ability that enabled her to share the truth to Sanji. It also has some destructive techniques that might be improved on if the user was a better combatant. And lastly, clairvoyance, the technique which allows her to scout a very large area. All of these make it a solid pick for the top 10 spot. Next, we have the Cuckoo no Mi, Stroisen's fruit. It can turn anything into food, which can definitely be useful for survival. Aside from feeding the hungry, it also saved the Big Mom pirates when Stroisen transformed the whole cake chateau into a giant fluffy, creamy cake, providing all of them a soft and sugary landing, helping the Cuckoo no Mi land at the top 9 spot. The list intensifies at number 8 with Bello Betty's Kobunomi. It motivates the people near Betty, unleashing their hidden potentials and helping them approach any situation with a positive mindset. We can assume that people would become stronger and more tenacious as well as fight for themselves with the help of this fruit, which could be a tremendous thing in the One Piece world as well as in real life, which is why it secures its place at number 8. Next, we have Jewelry Bonnie's unnamed fruit at number 7. It can help Bonnie manipulate her age as well as the age of a person that comes in contact with Bonnie. The use of this fruit was a unique way to end fights by turning opponents into children or elderly people. And providing immortality is definitely within the scope of this fruit's powers, making it a solid pick for any top 10 abilities list. We also have another support type fruit on the list at number 6. And we have the Chiyuchi no Mi, Manchuri's devil fruit. It allows Manchuri to heal anything, she can use it on people or even objects. As though Flamingo suggested that he would use Manchuri's powers to restore the factory if anything happens to it. But if I recall correctly, it was said to shorten the user's lifespan. And as of right now, we don't know if the fruit's abilities could heal even diseases. And if it did, just imagine what Chopper could do if he was able to study it, even for a while. And assuming that it does, it would probably propel the fruit higher up the list, even with such a dreadful drawback. And it is safe on the number 6 spot. We warp to the number 5 spot with the Nicu no Mi. This is Kuma's devil fruit, and Kuma used the fruit mostly in combat and was able to repel anything that was thrown at him. He could also make shockwaves that pierced through armor and multiple bodies. He compressed air into a small space and created a huge explosion with it, but the best abilities of this fruit are the ones he used helping others. It could warp Kuma onto another location instantly. He was able to transport anyone that he slapped onto any location, and it even has healing capabilities that he used to relieve Luffy of all of the damage that he took from the battle with Moria, and even punishing Zoro with it, leading to one of the most badass Zoro moments in the whole story, and making this fruit a definite candidate for any top 10 abilities list, and is the reason why we have it at number 5. We have a one-trick pony on the list, but for good reason. It's the most destructive fruit in the world, the gura no Mi. We all know that it creates quakes, and it can destroy the whole world. We have also seen it used to create tsunamis as well as tilt the world that the user is standing on, making people in the island lose their balance. It is only equaled by a handful of fruits in terms of destructive force. And even if the fruit seems to be mostly suited for combat usage, I had to give it some love and place it on this list. This fruit is controversially placed at the number 4 spot because we're talking about the overall usefulness of each Paramecia type fruit. I really considered placing this fruit lower on the list because we have only seen it used in combat so far. And the only other use that I could think of for the Girogiro no Mi is excavation. But that would be a very delicate job for the user considering how unbelievable the strength of this fruit is. And that's why we have it at number 4. Anyway, we push to the number 3 spot and we have Fujitora's zushinomi. It can pull in meteors and destroy a huge area, crush opponents with the massive weight or gravity placed on them, and levitate huge objects, enabling the user to fly on it. It's quite useful and very destructive. There is no doubt about that. I mentioned in a previous video that I think that the zushinomi is capable of bringing down a planet to a target location, if Fujitora really wants to destroy the world. And even if that's not possible, it can still amplify the force of Fujitora's slashes with the added usefulness of being able to lift objects, which is why we place it above the gura no Mi. And we keep things in order with the openomi. It provides almost absolute control over a massive area at the cost of a lot of energy. It can help destroy or heal, as well as rearrange anything within the user's space, and finally, it can grant immortality to anyone that the user chooses to, at the cost of the user's life. The massive drawbacks to this otherwise overpowered fruit is the reason we only have it at second place. And finally, we expand our minds here as we talk about Luffy's komogomonomi. I placed it at the top spot because this fruit is really useful in a lot of situations. It can help with escaping, like the times when Luffy had to grab onto something and avoid attacks that are aimed at him. It can be used as defense, just like how Luffy defended the Merry when they were about to crash against the Red Line, when they were entering the Grand Line. Or maybe to protect from physical attacks like the time he defended Ace against Sengoku. Since rubber is really resistant to blunt forces, it makes the user much more durable, and only vulnerable to heat and slicing. It could also slingshot the user to a far off location, which is perfect for covering a lot of ground in a very short amount of time. Or it could be used to transport the user and a few other people to a distant place. And even though we've mentioned a lot of uses already, we haven't even tackled its combat applications. The fruit boosts Luffy's combat ability with added speed, power, and durability, making it the most useful Paramecia type fruit in the One Piece world. And this caps off today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Crush like if you did, just like how Luffy crushed Katakuri. And comment down below your own top 10 most useful Paramecia type fruits. And lastly, if you love One Piece, subscribe to the channel so that the channel could grow, and hit the notifications bell because on the next video, we are finishing our top 10 theme for the month. And since we're talking about the Logia fruits, we're only making it a top 5 list because there's a very small number of Logia fruits right now. But it's gonna be fun, and I hope to see you in that conversation. As always, stay safe, peace.